at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. Today, you can see there's been some alterations to my spacesuit. I got a haircut. I don't look as ridiculous as I did last week. Dude, I had this look at my last video. I had this thing where my hair is going like this. And right here is getting like super long. And it's because I naturally just go like this on my hair. And then it gets like flat. So I had to puff it up and cut a little bit of the front. Anyways, here we are. So, all right, we already got somebody on live. Hello. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, which I doubt there are at the moment, since this live stream only has pickles in it and not tacos, if you know what I mean. A lot of pickles, that's for sure. Yeah, I just thought about this a little while ago. You would think I have fleas, right? I've outlived my mom, dude. My mom passed away when I was 12, and technically I've outlived her, which is really an interesting thought. So happy Mother's Day to her too. Yeah. Let's see here. We got a few messages. Okay, so my phone is just sort of balanced, so I don't have to hold it. But every time I touch the screen to see what you guys wrote, I'm going to have to rebalance it. So it's going to get a little annoying, but what do we got here? Good evening, Defcon. What's up, Mr. Twins? I knew I could count on you to be here. And it's evening. So where are you from if it's evening? John Smith says, what's up? Ooh, damn it. See, I told you I'm going to have to rebalance my phone every time. Mr. Twins, where are you from that it's evening? Are you on the other side of the world? All right. So I was reading these like funny, I don't know if we call them memes or whatever, but it was like, for example, there was a question and it was like, why do we get on a bus but not in a car? Wait. Why do we get on a bus and in a car? Shit. Anyways, but there was one of them that made me like really laugh, and it was like, why is it that women, when they bite their lower lips, they look sexy, right? When like, ooh, right? But when they bite their upper lips, they look dumb, like, rrr. So I don't know what, dude. I'm hyper and feeling goofy this morning. So all right, let's see what we got here. Got a few people. I've got 7 people on live, but not really any questions. So I have no content as we speak. Another windy day here where I live. And if you guys know anything about me, you know I hate it when it's windy. This is the one element that I cannot stand. Kicks up my allergies. I take Zyrtec for that. But even that doesn't help that much. So when you hear me coughing and all that, it's not the Wu flu. It's just me dealing with this wind. It just kicks up the dust and dirt and... All right, Samuel, because you can walk on a bus. Okay. Mr. Twins, afternoon, currently in San Francisco. Oh, okay. Bro, I was dying from last video. Yeah, John, me and my buddy, we've been laughing about that for days. The bigger question is, when I was like, does anybody know what a Cleveland steamer is? And that one dude was like, oh yeah, that's kind of like a hot Carl. Like, not only did he know the definition of the word, but he was able to kind of relate it to another disgusting word. And I'm like, how the hell would you know this, dude? Incidentally, he never did message me for his free t-shirt. More money in my pocket, but... Yeah, yeah, if I send that guy a t-shirt, I am not putting my return address on there, dude. That guy, like, if he knows those kind of things, yeah, anyways. All right, what do we got here? Modertic, I hope you are doing well. Do you prefer sunny days or cloudy days? Hey, to be honest, I like gloomy weather. I like when it's cloudy and just a slight bit warm. It just does something to my mood. I did hear one time that people with blue eyes are more sensitive to light, and that's why I'm always squinting, right? I guess I could put on sunglasses, but people with blue eyes are more sensitive to the light. So when it's cloudy, I actually feel like I can open my eyes more, and it's, I don't know, it's just more comfortable for me. But I do definitely love gloomy weather. I love rainy weather. Um, I love extremes. Like if it's super cold or just super hot outside, like 115. Um, Something about that. It's just exciting. Like, damn, just to watch how people react and how they panic when it's super hot. And then the news says, oh, there's a heat wave and they're doing these shelters with air conditioners. If yours is broken, you can go. I don't know. I like that kind of drama. All right, let's see here. Lucky Luke says, hey, oh, how far along are you in planning to move to North Carolina? Man, we are. Did see a house yesterday I like. The realtor's gonna take a look at it on Monday and send us videos of it. So there's a disadvantage, right? I live in California, and when I see these houses that I like out there, you literally cannot fly out there just to look at it, not like it, and then come back. So when you're moving out of state, that's the hard part. Like you can't physically see the house, and it's something about seeing photos versus actually being there, right? I did look at flights to North Carolina, and the last time I was there was like 300 and something dollars, $320 round trip. I think one time we bought tickets in the high 200s round trip. Now to go there round trip this month, $800 round trip, and I'm like, damn, that's about roughly $1,000 round trip once you factor in taking a taxi and all that stuff and buying food at the airport. It comes up to like $1,000 round trip, and then I start really thinking, and I'm like, that's 1/300th the cost of the house, just to fly out there to go look at it. And um so yeah, logistically, that's the problem we have, is not being there to actually see all these houses. What I really want to do is go there for a week and just stay there for a week and look at as many houses physically as possible. Um, but that would mean we would have to line up like 5 or 6 houses. And here's the other problem: houses are like, when they go on the market, they usually sell within gosh, 10, 12 days is the average. So if you do see a house you like, by the time you buy a plane ticket and go out there and look at it, most likely it's already in pending, and it's going to be sold. So it's a little bit challenging, which means most likely the house that we're going to buy, we're not going to even be able to see it before we buy it. Only photos and videos. That's it. So we're not going to know what it smells like, what the neighborhood's like. You know, you can use Google Maps, but the last time on Google Maps, I did find some houses I liked, and when I did fly out there, what I didn't realize is like the town had went to crap, and I'm like, wait a minute. When I looked at these houses on Google Street View, it looked nice, but what I didn't realize is those Google Street View videos or panoramic pictures were taken years ago, like 3 years ago, and a lot can happen to an area in 3 years. So you can't really go by those either. So there you go, man. That's the house hunting. It's going, but so far there's only one that we've been looking at, and we're gonna get like some pictures and stuff on likely Monday morning. All right. What else do we got here? Martarik says, hope you are doing well. Oh, okay. I already answered your question. Samuel, yeah, this weather is weird, rainy, sunny, and windy. Yes. John Smith, have you heard anything back from the crappy company? Because one time, two bro cut the short story, the supervisor called me, sounded pretty upset. Have you heard anything back from the crappy company? Because one time, bro, cut the story short, supervisor called me. What? You didn't talk to that supervisor. Or did you? What do you call security who works in the office? Is that a joke, or is that like an actual question, LLT? What do you call security that works in an office? Lucky? Because that's the best job ever. You just sit there and you have air conditioning, and heating and you have a chair. A joke. Okay. What do you call a security guard that works in an office? What do you call him, dude? Security. Oh, wait, I can't see it because this thing is in the way. Security officer. Oh, bro, that's like the first security security joke I've ever heard in my life. All right, so what do you call a security guard in an office? A security officer. It's funny, like, there's really no difference between a security guard and a security officer and security, but a lot of security guards will assign themselves the name security officer. And I guess if that makes you feel better. Um, yeah, it's a debatable question. I do feel that if you have a firearm on you, you are a security officer. But if you don't have a firearm, you're just a security guard. Just my thoughts. How is your car coming along? It's coming along good. Yesterday I changed the inner tie rods on my FJ Cruiser, and I have one more wheel to take off and change the brakes. But once that's done, that thing's ready to drive across country, and that's what I plan on doing with it. I'm going to use that car to move with. So that's why I wanted to make sure like everything was perfect. But it's coming along, man. I put everything back together, and I forgot to put this really big bolt that goes on the caliper. Yesterday, I like put everything on, and I'm like, what's this? I'm like, crap, I forgot to put a bolt. So I'm hoping that I could put that bolt without taking the wheel off. I could just like squeeze under the car and put it in there. I haven't looked yet, but if that is the case, um, I'll just finish it up. If not, I'll have to jack the car up and take the wheel off. And I hate taking the wheel off because it's so huge. I think my Cruiser has like a 32-inch wheel, and it's so heavy. It's probably like, God, I don't know. I want to say like 100-pound wheel because of it's just so heavy. And then trying to get it onto the studs is just it's a pain. And then the jack for my car only lifts the car like an extra, like the tire is only 1 inch off the ground because the car is already so high. That's the only jack I have for it. So when you try to put the wheel on, you keep hitting the ground because there's not enough clearance. So yeah, hey man, thanks for asking. It's coming along good. And Marturik, if that's I don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. But what is the nationality of that name? Or did you just make that name up? I'm curious. All right, John Smith. What happened was I was upset because he was like playing musical chairs with me. It's the same situation as you. Oh, okay. So you've had something similar to me happen where you went on a job interview and you were kind of like that backup prom date, right? So if the first prom date didn't say okay to him, he would use you instead. Yeah, man, that's what I felt like at this job interview. Like I was the backup and fill out all the information, blah blah blah, and if we need you, we'll call you. And I'm thinking, dude, screw you. I do hope you saw that video. That pissed me off, dude. It's all about knowing your worth and your value, and I really felt like my worth was not shining. And then what's even more crazy is when I went on that job interview, I was looking around and there was other guards like coming in and out of that building that worked there, and maybe they were picking up their paychecks or whatever. And I'm not trying to judge, but I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, bro, what are those? Right? Their shoes were just jacked up, and I'm like, pants just faded. Uniform looks like, I'm like, really? And you're like considering me, like it's possible that you might hire me. Like, look what we're working with, bro. You better hire me ASAP. Otherwise, your company's not gonna last long. And yeah. All right, what do we got here? Nomadic Conquistador says, "What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? I like that name, Conquistador, Nomadic." The Thought Broker. Hey, Defcon, good to see you, man. Hey, it's always good to hear from you, Thought Broker. You've definitely been around for a long time, and you're from Canada, right? Um, Definitely an intelligent person. I've gotten some emails from this guy, and some advice in life. He's just awesome, dude. Hope all is well, health and family. Yep, all is good, man. I always like to say, woke up and stood up today, right? I have no reason to complain. LOT says, hey, Mike, what do you think about the Byra gun? I heard it's becoming legal for guards here in Cali to carry. Man, I've heard of that twice now. What is that? The Byra gun? Let me know what that is, man. Give me some insight, and then maybe I could try to answer that question. I've heard it twice already. I guess I should know what it is, since I'm starting to hear more and more about it. It's a randomized name, so no meaning to it as far as I know. Okay, I'm thinking it was like Croatian or something. That really does sound like a typical Croatian last name, Martiric. How is the book I sent you? Has it helped any plans for owner-operator? Nomadic Conquistador. Thank you so much for that book. I did read through it. I learned a lot, but at the end of the day, man, I don't know if you've heard the update, but I'm actually moving out of California and trying to start a company out here. It's just not feasible. Too many rules and laws and insurances and waiting. I'm at the point now where I'm like, let me just start a company on the East Coast. It's going to be a lot easier. I'll be happier, less crime, more punishment when you do crimes out there. It's not like Cali at all. So as much as I do appreciate that book and the trouble you went through to send it to me, and I did read it, I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. I don't think I'm going to become an owner-operator out here in California. Lucky Luke, hope you find a place in NC. I hear it's beautiful. Did you look into the process for becoming an armed guard over there and how different it is from Cali, or are you jumping into starting your own PPO? Hey, man, that's a good question. I don't know yet. Am I going to be a guard or just try to get my PPO? I'll figure it out in the first few weeks of being there. I do know that in order to be a guard out there, right, you have to be 18. You have to have a driver's license, right? And so right off the bat, I don't even have a driver's license out there. And I'm like, crap. So I have to do the whole literal driving test. So it's not even a written test. I literally have to get behind the wheel and prove to somebody that I can drive. And I haven't done that since I was like 16. I mean, granted, I know what they're looking for. They want to make sure I check my rear view, my side, stop at the stoplight, signal like, I don't know, 100 feet before the turn. But it's going to be still kind of weird doing that driving test. So having said that, like just getting a security job out there, obviously I would have to get like their version of a guard card because nothing in California matriculates to Carolina. Like nothing. I mean, your skills do, but as far as like certifications and licenses, none of that transfers over. So I'm gonna have to start from square one. And when I think about that, I'm like, if I'm starting from square one, dude, let me just start my own business from square one. But I don't know. I don't know how easy that is to do. But I'll figure out. The first few weeks that I'm there, I'll be on here. I'll talk to you guys. I'll make some videos, and I'll let you know. But, yeah, thanks for asking, man. The Byron non-lethal gun is pretty badass. So when you say non-lethal gun, what does it propel? Like rubber bullets or some sort of paintball full of OC chemicals or something? Be curious to know. We got another view. It's not Byra. Oh, it's Berna, not Byra. Berna gun. Okay. And just so you guys know, like when I touch the screen, the letters are kind of like, so I can see myself talking to you guys, right? There's like, it's a reflection of me. Not pretty either. Damn, with this double chin. But also when I'm reading your like messages, it's like not faded, but it's very light. It's super hard to read because it comes in like kind of translucent, and I have to like really get close if I want to read them, and it's hard to read. So I think of myself as a good reader, but when it's like translucent like that, it's kind of hard to read. All right, Lucky Luke, that's crazy. I thought a DL from another state would exempt you from the driving test. Thanks for answering thoroughly, brother. I'm rooting for you. Hey, I appreciate that. And I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for everybody that's on this channel. I was taking a test yesterday about personalities, like what personality am I? It was on it was on when you Google 16 personality tests, it asks you like 50 questions and then puts you in sort of a category. And my personality was the debater, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so true. So essentially I am a person that likes to debate, especially intellectual things. And so I'm not argumentative, but I do like to just I like to have good conversations where politics or religion or whatever you name it is brought up. But it did say I was very empathetic toward other people, and I want other people to succeed, and that is true. When I feel like I've impacted somebody and they have succeeded, it makes me feel really good. Um, it's kind of like I feel like I'm that dad that didn't make it in life, but I want my son to make it. Like, hey, son, I didn't have all these tools growing up, and I've always wanted to go to college, but you know, now that I'm older, I want to give you these tools so you can be the first one in college in our family. And, so I feel like that when you guys are out there applying for jobs and trying to make more money, I'm always like, dude, you could definitely make a lot of money. You can make more than I make, right? Especially if you're like 20 years old and you're just starting, you have so much more room to grow than I do. And I have no problem seeing somebody making more than I do. I'm like, awesome, good for you. And if there's any advice I can dispel to you to help you get there, by all means, I'd love that. The one thing I do hate is when guards are like, yeah, man, this company just picked me up and they said I had no experience, so I'm only making like 11 an hour. Drives me crazy. I'm like, man, they are ripping you off. Or it's like, somebody says, hey, man, I just went to the store, or I just went to go buy a car, right? And they're telling me that I have to pay super high interest and da da da. And you're like, dude, trust me, it's not true. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to convey it a certain way. I can't. My English is off today. But you guys get the idea. All right. So another view is explaining the gun. The Berna gun worked in the case of Richard Sherman, a former 49ers safety, when he was causing havoc during the actions of domestic violence, and his father-in-law used it against him. The Berna X is nice to have if you can get it, plus pepper balls. Is it non-lethal? So what does the gun do? Like, how does it stop a person from advancing on you? I imagine it's shaped like a gun if it's called a gun, but what is its means of stopping you? Is it like a rubber bullet? Is it, we've mentioned a pepper gun. We know those are like little balls, and upon impact, the pepper OC kind of spreads out. But what does that gun do? Another view, role model or mentor? A little bit of both, man. Um, in life, I had role models, but I've also had mentors. I think I've had three mentors growing up in life. Lyle Brown. There's a Native American guy. Um, he called himself Turtle. He was my mentor as well. And then, oddly enough, I don't know if he's watching this channel. I doubt he would. But this guy, Robert McGee, growing up, he was my sister's boyfriend at the time. He was my mentor when I was younger. Taught me a lot of things. Those were my three mentors. And having said that, I think mentors are awesome. If there's somebody you can look up to, and they kind of like help guide you in life, or give you a means to bounce ideas off of, and that's awesome. Let's see. The thought broker. What type of jobs are you applying for, Mike? And what are your favorite security types of jobs, and for what reason? Right now, man, I've been applying for security jobs. Like I said, I don't know if you heard, I applied at 108 places. on Indeed, and of 108 places, I think 4 responded. Of those 4, I only got 1 interview. Have no idea why, but at this juncture, I really don't care. I don't plan on being here too long, God willing. And in what, less than 3 months, I should be out of here. So what's the point of trying to beg for a job only to be gone soon? And as far as income, I have income coming in right now, anyways. So I'm doing all right. A job would be a nice additional income to help, you know, pay for the unforeseeable when I move. But I'm not too desperate now to get a job. What are my favorite security jobs? Jobs where you just have the luxury to sit, like I'm doing right now. I've had security jobs where I just sit in my vehicle all day, and honestly, I really like that. I mean, I've had other jobs where I felt like I was a cop, right? You get all geared up, you're out in the public, you're protecting something, and you're shutting people down all day to do bad things to that apartment complex or that community, patrolling in a car. You feel awesome. You're like, wow, dude, this is what it's like to be a cop. Although it's obviously different than a cop. And by no means are we cops, but those jobs are kind of cool. But as I kind of got a little bit older and more used to the industry, they started to lose their excitement. And then it became more work, if anything. I'm like, I really don't like patrolling and driving behind people in communities. And I don't know. It was a good experience. But if I could have a choice, it would be to just sit in my vehicle, watch a gate all day long. Make sure nobody comes through that gate, and we'll pay you $30 an hour. That's the best job ever. All right. Let me see. I've got a lot of messages here. Joshua Israel says sometimes though the pepper balls will break open in the chamber magazine, and you'll end up getting peppered yourself. Yep, seen that online. John Smith, honestly, bro, wish you the best. Hopefully, you find happiness in Colorado. It's actually North Carolina, but Colorado is nice. I'm still trying to figure out my own path, but tell you this. Here in Portland, Oregon, I don't recommend anyone doing security. Yes, I know. Initially, I was looking to move to Oregon, and then I just started seeing how crappy it was. And I know it's beautiful out there because of the trees and whatever, the coast, the ocean. But as far as like just the culture out there and laws, yeah, I'm cool, bro. Nomadic Conquistador says operates on CO2 cartridges, and they are hard pepper balls that shatter into a fine powder upon hitting target, burning eyes while they leave a huge welt. Trust me, I've had it tested on. Ouch. Yeah, so those, and you're right, those are not legal in California. Um, I guess they're becoming legal, huh? The thing is, if I had a choice between a taser and pepper gel, and somebody was coming at me, I would pick the pepper gel. The taser works sometimes, and it's not a guarantee. Taser works based on the principle that it it immobilizes muscles and you fall down. But if you're kind of fat, or if you don't hit and the probes don't hit you perfectly, like 12 inches apart in a chest area, it's going to be ineffective. If somebody is high on drugs, they're just going to pull those prongs right out. So pepper gel, though, I don't care how big you are. If your eyes are out, you're blinded. So that that's my go-to. So the pepper ball, I almost like, depends on how many balls you can shoot out. I mean, one is not going to do the trick. It might cause somebody to cough. And so look, here's a side story. I got pepper sprayed, what, 8 months ago? Somebody tried to carjack me, and it came up to my window and pepper sprayed me in my face. And oddly enough, I could still see. It was burning, no doubt. The hardest part was like when I was chasing a guy down, every time I would breathe in, I would start coughing because of the spray. But as far as like being able to fight him, and yeah, there was no problem, dude. And made me think about the effectiveness of that as well. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Just, you can't always rely on these these means of stopping people. At the end of the day, the firearm, that's the, you know, lead is the number one deterrent when it comes to stopping somebody, and that's kind of unfortunate. But if I had to choose between a non-lethal, I'm going to say pepper gel any day. All right, what food did you eat the most while working the grave? God, it wasn't good food, that's for sure. I ate a lot of bad food when I was on grave. Grave is kind of depressing, and to try to like add some excitement to your life, you always throw something in there like, oh, a Twinkie or chocolate chip cookies with my coffee, just to kind of keep the morale going. And you do that enough, you start gaining weight. And I did. I gained a lot of weight in security, and I never did shed those pounds. Now I look at myself and I recognize I'm getting older, and that's part of the effects of getting older. But dude, this double chin, it's no joke. And I got a little bit of a belly going here. My dad saw me 2 days ago. He hadn't seen me for a while, and he's like, damn, you're getting fat. And to hear him say that, I'm like, ooh, that's bad. So, um, the foods you should eat, I mean, that's one thing versus what I actually did eat. All right, what do we got here? Electro, what's up, bro? Yo, just caught up on your recent video this morning. Currently in the middle of a 13-hour shift. This was perfect timing, getting paid to do security while listening to you. Hey, thank you, man. Exactly. I'm a firm believer that if you've got the opportunity to listen to something while doing security, learn something. Like when I first started security, I had a lot of downtime. I would watch just random cat videos, right? Just stupid stuff to make you laugh. But then I started realizing, man, I'm not, serving time. I'm wasting time. And eventually I just started learning stuff. I'm like, well, if I've got 8 hours to sit here today, in these 8 hours, I am going to learn how to service a carburetor. So I spent almost a whole day learning how to clean carburetors, service them, fix them. And there you go. I just learned a new skill on company time. Then the next day I was like, how do you repair common things around the home? I watched videos on how to replace those S pipes under the sink, garbage disposals, how to put in a window, all this just random nonsense, but useful stuff that you're going to use in life. Then I went on this thing where I spent like almost 4 days, every day, 8 hours a day for 4 days straight, learning how to survive if all the power went out. Learned about, how to obtain water and purify it. And so I started thinking of almost like I was going back to college, but on the company's time. Now, granted, I'd have to look around. My job is security, so I have to look around and make sure things are safe. But sometimes you're put in areas where you're almost certain nothing's going to happen, especially if I'm guarding a gate all day long just for insurance purposes. And then you ask them, has there ever been a break-in? And they're like, never, never. Well, then why do you need me? Just for insurance purposes. And you're like, okay, well then, gosh, the threat level is so low, I could probably tune out once in a while and watch YouTube videos. So yeah, man, just utilize your time. If you got free time, try to learn stuff. I mean, it's cool to watch funny things to kind of keep you entertained and pass the time. But to learn a skill on company's time, I mean, we do waste a lot of time. We waste hundreds of hours a month, literally hundreds, just sitting there. And imagine if you spent hundreds of hours a month learning something, a skill, a topic, a how-to, it would benefit you. All right. What do we got here? Lucky Luke says, I feel you on the driving part, getting old. I work for an alarm company and feel like for the amount of miles I do and the traffic you have to deal with, you might as well get a trucking job. Exactly. I think, God, I forgot what truckers are getting paid right now, but I know it's like $1.70 a mile. At some point, it was $3 a mile. Yeah, and if you're going to be, translate that, $3 a mile versus patrolling for an hour. Yeah, Anyways, you get the idea. Uh, I just noticed my phone's getting kind of hot. Last time it did this, it actually shut me off, and I don't know what it is. I think hmm, the sun's not really hitting it, but this phone doesn't do good when I stream live for some reason. It gets really hot. So just a warning, if it gets shut off, you know what happened. I like the security jobs where I can maximize my personal freedom, similar to having the feeling of being your own boss when you're kind of doing your own thing. The patrol breaks up the shift health. Yeah, it does. And to see new sights. LOT, how much coffee would you drink while working the grave? Ah, how much would I drink versus how much I could have drank? So if I had a big thermos full of coffee, dude, and it was 6 cups, I guarantee it would be gone. But ideally, I try to keep it down to 1 cup, and I was pretty good with that. 1 to 2 cups per shift at the most. Not only did it keep me awake, but there's just something about drinking coffee that relaxes me. I think it has more to do with the whole relaxing aspect versus the keeping me awake. But yeah, and then there was a point where I was drinking energy drinks for like 3 months. That was horrible. If you can avoid energy drinks, by all means do so. They're so toxic. I mean, coffee at least arguably has some health benefits, but energy drinks, nobody's out there arguing that energy drinks help you. All right, I'm gonna shut this down pretty soon because my phone really is getting hot. Like whenever I touch the screen to scroll, my screen itself is physically hot. All right, I agree. An idle mind is the devil's playground. Absolutely. Lectro says, making my time twice the wealth, financial plus knowledge. Absolutely. John Smith, question: do you prefer working alone or working with coworker in the security field? A little bit of both. I am a people person. I like talking, but it depends with who. I've Nah, I take that back. I can talk to anybody, even if somebody's kind of lame. I could still entertain myself, and it goes both ways, man. I think we all know the answer to that. Sometimes being by yourself is awesome because then you can watch your videos and all that. You don't have to worry about the other guard judging you. You know, like, damn, dude, you watch a lot of videos. You should be working. And I've had guards that say that to me. Um, but then it's also nice having somebody there where you can BS and pass the time. So it goes both ways, man. I think ultimately, if I had a choice, I would probably go with being alone. You know, I mean, with security, it's almost like you are your own boss. You just go to that spot and you run the show. And then the next shift comes in and they do things their way. So you are, in some regards, your own boss. And that's why a lot of security guards are contracted, um, because they are like self-employed contractors. So, all right, I'm gonna answer like one or two more questions, and I'm gonna cut out. Like literally, my phone, it's heating up. Drinking coffee while doing patrol work in a cold night and some good music. Absolutely. So you know it, man. When it's cold outside and you have your coffee and you're driving around and you're thinking, that is like the best. And you're like, wow, paying the bills while doing something I would love to do. All right. Last question, and I'm done. I'm done. The thought broker. I struggle to focus, organize. Do you have any personal things you do to zero in on learning a skill or things you do to help you focus and get things done? Um, I find that when you do something you enjoy, you really don't have to focus on it. Like if you think about school back in the days, you put me in an English class, dude, I'm going to be so bored. I'm not going to get the material. I'm not going to focus on it. But you put me in a science class, I am like totally awake. I'm understanding the material because that is something I enjoy to do. I think in order to focus on something, you have to enjoy whatever you're trying to learn. And it just makes the whole process a lot easier. I hope I answered that. I hope this is not more deeper than what I'm thinking. Let's see. I struggle to focus, organize. Do you have any personal things you do to zero in on learning a skill or things you do that help? Yeah, like I said, a thought broker. If I don't enjoy what I'm learning, I just don't learn it. There's some things that you just like. Let's say that I hate, as far as cars go, I like repairing my own vehicle. But let's say just the exhaust system bores the life out of me and trying to learn how to repair or put together an exhaust system just doesn't do it for me. There's a point where I'm like, why even learn how to do it? Just pay somebody else to do it. There's certain skills in life that you're just not good at. There's something that I suck at. I suck at direction. If you were to drop me in the middle of a city and say, go east and I'll get you out of here, I honestly couldn't figure out where east is. I don't know why. I don't have this like internal compass. And my buddy always laughs at me and is like, dude, you suck with direction. I'm like, I know. For some reason, I cannot directions just, and I know there's methods like, well, all right, just know that the sun always rises to the blank and sets in the blank and use that as your compass. I just can't do it, dude, for some odd reason. So if I had to learn something that had to do with direction, navigation, I just won't do it. It's just, what's the point? My brain just doesn't compute that well. So, all right, let's see. One more question. Take care, bro. Defuse that phone before it goes into flames for sure. And Mr. Twins, how many private land securities you done besides the weed farms? I think I've done like 7 or 8 land jobs where I'm just guarding a farm, not even a weed farm, just construction sites or, yeah, those are cool ones. The only problem is access to bathrooms and if you need to buy something at a store, you know. And those jobs are usually far out there. Like you gotta drive like an hour to get to them. That's the only thing I hate about those jobs. Anyways, guys, like literally my phone is like burning up. So I'm gonna shut this down. We'll do like another video, let's say today's Sunday, huh? Shoot, maybe Monday. Tuesday. We'll do it on Tuesday. I'll do another video on Tuesday and then yeah, we'll go from there. Hey man, thank you guys so much for being on here. I really do appreciate it. Happy Mother's Day to, if there's any mom that ever sees this video. You guys are appreciated. I'll read the last few messages and I'm gonna sign out. Electro, right in the east, sets in the west. That's right, rises in the east, sets in the west. The Thought Broker, right on. Thanks for tips. I agree. Interest is the best self-motivator and I appreciate your time. Good to see you. Have a great rest of the day, Mike. Thank you, brother. Electron, peace out, brother. All right, so you guys, please know your worth, know your value, value your time. Above all, be safe.